Good day, everyone.
Hello.
Maybe we can wait for a minute or two and then start.
Yeah, I think we're Joe free today, right, Streeter?
Yeah, Joe will not be joining this call. And even the next week, I believe.
Yeah, he said the next 2 weeks.
I think we can go ahead and start because Joe will not join. Satananda has not joined and Dongwei has not joined over the last quite a few weeks. Is it okay?
Yeah, we should get started, Streeter. Sounds good.
Just think, is May 1st a holiday in US? I don't think so, right? Because next week is 1st of May. Yeah, I don't think it affects anybody except me. Okay, so I have just two things before I hand it over to Tim on the topic. So first is on the OCP summit. I think last week I mentioned quickly the planned OCP summit. I think I want the TSC's opinion on that. It will be a co-located event, and I'll just share this thing. So please go through this document and share your feedback. First thing, would TSC agree that doing such an event makes sense this year? It's been more than 2 years. We haven't had any of our event. I was thinking if this is the year that we should be doing co-locate with OCP Global. But we want to do it through this public call for proposal way. Or if we don't want to do it and we just do it only for the members of OPI could give a presentation, we can also do that way. But I believe this would be a better option over doing it within the OPI. Any feedback, comments, any objection doing this event at all?
No objection at all. It seems like it's appropriate spot to get together with the rest of the OPI community.
What form do you think it would take, Streeter?
Depending on the submissions, right? So we have mentioned they can propose like in the talk, in the form when we ask them, it will be like a 30 minutes or 50 minutes lightning or 10 minutes lightning. So depending on the submissions, it will be a half-day event, which will be on 13th of October in the same location. It will be, and if there's submission, if somebody is submitting some demos or anything, we can have it during the breaks around that time. So what it will happen, we'll make this public and we'll make it market it as much as possible for people to submit it. We will create all these kind of things and a form for submission, Google form for submission of their talks and everything. Yeah, so they'll be submitting on a Google form, and we will form a committee within the OPI TSC members. If you want to volunteer, I'll be very happy. And that committee will review all these presentation, and we will select the talks that we want, we can accommodate, and we can have this event.
Yeah, I guess it depends on how much content we have, but you're thinking it's a single room event where we just serially go through a set of talks and presentations?
Yeah, it should be a single room event. Yeah, again, a single room event would be itself quite expensive in San Jose.
Yes.
So it will be a single room event, half a day event. Depending on the submissions, we can adapt accordingly. So that's why we are hoping to close the submissions by 31st of July, so that we will still have some time to do some kind of modification. If we need a bigger room, we can choose around that. Yeah.
So Paul, have you guys talked about this in the outreach committee?
Yeah, we've
that-
talked about it a little bit, not a lot.
Yeah. So that last week there were only John attended from outreach.
Yeah.
I'm planning to take to outreach again on 29th next week. Hopefully, I'll get okay from outreach also. So once I get okay from both TSC and outreach, I will kickstart this whole activity.
Okay, that sounds exciting to me, Sridhar.
Yeah. So very similar to what we did at SmartNIC Summit is what you're thinking. So half day co-located event right before OCP Summit is Global Summit. Is that?
Yeah, so I think last time in the SmartNIC Summit we didn't do it in this public call for proposals.
Right.
Now this time it will be anybody can submit the proposals, and TSC members like select members or any like 3-4 whom we will call as summit chairs. So they will pick and choose the talks based on the submissions kind of thing, the quality and all those things, relevance and everything. So I have initially put set of these topics. So I request TSC members to add a few more things if you think if that should be added.
You mean added to
This list. These are just initial topics that I have put. This will be made. We will put it in a web page kind of a thing and pass it to all the people who would like to go through this call for proposals and look at these topics. And if they find it relevant according to the research, they will submit it.
Okay, how do we get to this document, Sridhar?
I have put the link in the chat in this meeting minutes, and I will also put in the
Okay,
chat.
yeah. And then we can all edit that common document?
Yes, please.
Okay. I think Paul is just asking us to shape the call for papers.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a quick, nice summary of that. Okay, that's that.
So
And
the OCP, we would probably be located in the Marriott then or something? We get a room
no,
in the
it's in a
Marriott?
convention center.
Yeah, the Marriott is adjacent to it though.
Yeah,
Maybe-
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Or maybe below that.
Yeah, there's a hotel right there, part of the convention center.
the Hilton?
Yeah, the Hilton, yeah, where you can get a convention room to do this stuff.
Right.
How large is OCP Global supposed to be this year? Do you know?
Oh, the global, I can get those numbers. It'd be really big, actually. I mean, like it'd be more definitely in thousands, I think. Yeah.
Not the tens of thousands, but the 1 to 2,000s. Is that what we're thinking?
No. It maybe I can get the exact thing. We have a good connect with the OCP. They always give us free booth, right? So I think when we have it, we will also have a booth along with that. If we want to do any demos and everything, we can move all the demos to that booth, in fact.
Got it.
If any submissions has a booth, I mean the demos, right? We can request them to do it in our booth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so basically, emphasis is on ease of use, POC implementation, some experimental results, anything that they have it around this DPUs and IPUs. So you guys are experts, so please help me to clean up this, or maybe make it this proposal, call for proposal, more meaningful and relevant. Okay. So that's
Yeah, the only thing I see missing here is any mention of the only thing that gets any marketing dollars these days is the letters AI.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say the same thing.
So maybe it's AI applications or you know,
Ah.
DPUs for use in AI.
Yeah, DPUs and AI infrastructure.
Yeah,
That-
yeah, DPUs and AI infrastructure. Something like that.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I see missing from this.
It's okay. I think, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
But yeah, it's the only thing that ever gets any marketing money or any interest these days is AI.
Correct.
Gotta have those two letters in any title to have it search.
I think Oran team is working on something around this for the Edge AI use case, putting the DPU along with the software defined radio. It seems to be a very interesting use case. Maybe I can request them to talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so that's any other comments? So I haven't heard any objection from TSC, so I will take it as an okay from TSC, and I will trouble the outreach next week.
Yeah, on that last bullet with the AI, if you could put DPU, IPU like you did in the rest of them, it'd be great.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, my bad.
No, it's no bad. Just understandable.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so second thing is on the joint workshop, which I mentioned last week again. So we are currently tentatively thinking on 12th or 13th of May from 7 to 10 a.m. Pacific. This is the link for the joint agenda. So my request to all the TSA members is to for the participation. It's just a very tentative agenda. Just to start with an opening, and the governing board chair and TSC chair initially talk about what's the past, present, and future, and what's happening from the OPI perspective and from the technical perspective. And then we will have members talking about the direction and trends of DPUs and IPUs, and what should OPI be doing. The next topic is, and again, members discussing about what OPI should be doing to remain relevant to the industry, because this is one of the comments and topics that we have been hearing from multiple members. So we can hear from all the members on what should OPI be doing to stay relevant, and what are the OPI's challenges today that we are facing, the resources, the contributions and everything, and how do we address that thing. So I'm just put it, so please don't take it think that, hey, why is our name here or something like that. Just a proposal. Feel free to edit it or modify it and suggest it or input any comments you would like to hear in this document. Or if you want to suggest any other topic, you want to modify any other thing, please let me know.
And you're thinking the 2-hour format's the right length?
3 hour form.
3 hours, 7 to 10. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's 3 hours, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
3 hours. You're right.
Okay. For a moment.
I'm used to compressing schedules. That's seems like what I do a lot these days. So. Yeah, you have it for 3 hours. It'll easily take 3 hours.
Yeah, easily. So this is again request for participation. Please go through this and let me know. I will maybe reach out to members separately, because doodle poll of late I've seen over last 2 polls. I haven't gotten proper response from the doodle polls. So maybe we can check with members and see if one of these 2 days are okay with them, and I will proceed accordingly. Okay, this is just a continuation from the previous topic. Now we can start with the more technical topics.
Perfect. On that one, I don't know if it matters to anybody else, but F5 is off on the 12th. So I don't know if that one would work.
That's why my calendar looks so good on that day.
It is why your calendar looks so good on that day, because we have the day off. 13th.
I thought 5th is a holiday. I thought it's Cinco de Mayo. 12th is a holiday. Is it?
No, we have F5 holidays. They're called
Yeah.
wellness days.
We
Okay.
have a wellness weekend, a 4-day weekend, the 10th through the 12th.
Wow, for the whole
Then-
company?
The
Whole
whole
company
company.
takes
Yeah.
4
Oh,
days.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Because
Enjoy
everybody's
that.
off, so nobody falls behind on their work because everybody's off. So that's the
Okay, then
thinking.
that's the important point. Yeah, thanks. So then we can actually rule out that date itself. We will see. Then so from 10th to 12th, you said, Paul?
Yes. So it's the May Friday. We get Friday and a Monday off. An extra
Okay.
Friday and Monday.
Oh, 9th to 12th then, yeah. So I think
Oh,
then
yeah,
13th
sorry.
should be okay, right? Then 13th should be, is it okay on 13th? People will be back or they might
Yeah,
extend?
13th. I mean, the 9 to 10 hour is the outreach committee
Let's
meeting,
see.
and we could reprovision that for this. That's not a problem. I could make
Okay.
7 to 10.
Any other topic? We can start with this topic. Is stop last week and continue on this particular thing.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. So I think the question I had last time when of all the discussions, right? If we want to do this activity, we need some kind of volunteers from these organizations to say that, hey, we will bring these works to OPI lab, right? Yeah, if my understanding is correct, that should be the one of the important topics of discussion. Like we need commitments from these companies who have already done it in public to also to bring its same work to OPI lab.
Right. That's what we discussed.
Yeah.
I hesitate because I know that volunteers me to do some of this work. But that's my I think it's the right thing to do. It's just when can I take some of the work that I've been doing with these and migrate it into the OPI lab?
So if you worked with someone from Red Hat who's familiar with the operator, would that help things go smoother, Paul?
Possibly.
Yeah, I was just wondering, if we could build a small team of the right people, maybe it wouldn't
Yeah.
be such a workload because people would kind of know what they were doing.
Yeah, my feel for both sets of operators that are out there right now is neither are trivial tasks to operate.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, that's what we're trying to demonstrate is not true. But
I know that's just it. It's neither one are trivial things to accomplish. So
We need volunteers. Sorry to put you in the spot, Simon. Do you think from Red Hat, if anybody can help to work with
I should
Paul?
help. Yes, yes, of course, we will help Paul.
Okay. Well, explore. I'll just use the word explore for now. I'm not taking it as a commitment right away. I don't want to.
yeah,
We'll
I'm at
check.
the point where I'm almost almost have a successful run of using the operator that Red Hat has built with Intel and Marvell. Almost successful using it with the Intel card.
Yeah, that would be exciting to have that on the Intel card.
So you need so Paul, both from Intel and Red Hat, or any one
Well,
of
I
these?
need Intel, Red Hat, Marvell, and NVIDIA all involved in working on a single operator effort. But right now there are two of them. Yeah, I need to be successful with both of them, and then we need to figure out how we use one as a wrapper around the other, how we decide on which one we're going to use, if they can be brought together. They have different mechanisms again for how they operate on the card. So
I would even say different philosophies, right?
yeah, I think so.
So Miles, same question for you. So can you also please check internally and see if we can get somebody to help and work with Paul to bring this into the lab?
Yeah, I will.
So Simon, does the Red Hat operator have a name or an acronym, or do we just call it the Red Hat operator?
Yes, I've made the suggestion internally, but at the moment it's called the Red Hat operator.
Okay.
When I say I made the suggestion, I think a more catchy name would make discussing it easier. But yes, I don't have anything for you.
I'm using DPF. Sorry. I'm using DPF term for an NVIDIA operator. That's
Yes,
okay, right?
that's correct.
the correct term. Yes. So I was hoping for something similar from Red Hat.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. I acknowledge this problem and I have raised it internally.
Oren, I think Oren, you're in the call, right? So can you also please check if somebody can work with us to bring it into the lab, the DPF operator?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. I will we will follow up with Simon, Miles, and Oren. Thanks, folks. I will check offline with Marvel and see how we can get their help on this. Is that okay, Paul?
Yep.
I'll keep you posted from whatever I hear from Marvel. Okay, I think once we have this team, once we have the volunteers from all these organizations working with Paul and his team, I think we should make some progress. I was hoping something if we do by, I don't know, we can take one of this as a presentation or a topic in our event also to present again in October time. Because this is a like very, very excellent joint effort, right? Yeah. And to do, I think for some of the complete end-to-end use cases, right? For example, based on presentation by Asim, for what is that? For example, a telco use case.
Yes.
For such kind of offloadings, showcasing how such kind of offloading would have with the DPU, IPU, complete end-to-end, starting from provisioning to offloading the application, network functions, or any of these things, do it to the end-to-end scenario. Would that be a separate exercise or it would be part of this one?
It could be separate. So what I've been working on is how do we get Nginx deployed via these operators. Um, and deployed and configured such that it can do the um, the work of a proxy on the DPU rather than on the host. And it's just non-trivial work. So that is an end-to-end, but it's not the only end-to-end. It's an example of an end-to-end application.
Yeah, I think your work, Paul, you're sort of starting with a few provisioned cards and you want to deploy on them and have them join a cluster, and that's sort of the end to end of a Kubernetes deployment on provisioned cards.
Yes.
The full end to end, Sridhar, would also include the provisioning piece, right? As in, I start with a couple of bare servers and cards and boxes, and how do I get to a deployed workloads running in a cluster? And that's sort of joining the provisioning piece to the Kubernetes deployment piece. But
Yeah,
since we haven't built the Kubernetes piece yet, we kind of have to do that first. Then we can talk about building the sort of the cold boot end to end.
Yeah.
Oops, sorry, I was speaking on mute. So, Paul, my question is on the Nginx use case, right? Can I map it to the enterprise domain, or we should not be doing that?
Sure. I mean, it's definitely much more an enterprise use case than a telco use case or an SP use case.
Okay.
The other workload that F5 is working on is more tilted towards a service provider than not. But it's not an open use case. It's proprietary F5 software running on a DPU, not open source Nginx. Which is why we've tried to stick with showing Nginx here in this OPI form, because it's open. So
Yeah, and anyone who wants to reproduce this in their own lab can do that, right? So
we hope. Yes.
So for this use case, I'm currently discussing with ONF, Open Networking Foundation, to see if they can invest resources, both at least the finance part, so that we can OPI and ONF can jointly do some kind of a joint project in our lab, where we can showcase how to do that SD course UPF offloading, because it will benefit both the projects, right? And they seems to be interesting, and they can invest some money, and we can share the cost. Maybe the idea was to quickly bring in some. They worked with some SIs, ONF. I think they say if you engage with an SI, we can quickly do it in 2-3 weeks and get this out, which is beneficial for both the projects. But it's still in very early stages. So I'm still exploring, and if we have anything meaningful, then I will bring it to OPI and see if we can do it through an SI kind of a thing. But anyway, unless if it's shared with other project, it makes sense, or else it can become expensive for us. The third thing I wanted to on this OPI lab, that headless use cases, do you think we should be doing it in the lab, or is it even possible? Can we provide that kind of remote access for these headless scenarios, where DPU IPUs are itself as an endpoint kind of a thing?
By headless use case, what do you?
Ah,
I think he means not relying on the host. Is that what you mean?
yes. I
So
think that's
basically, treating the DPU as a node,
correct.
which I
Correct. think
actually
it's the
think is
term.
what we're doing
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the Kubernetes use case. We are treating it as a Kubernetes node.
Yeah, but in this case, it can also be one of the, you are right, it could be one of the worker node or maybe, I don't know, one of the nodes. But I think there are other scenarios where one of our members, VYOS, right? VYOS, I think they also have some kind of endpoint scenarios to do this.
Okay, I'm not familiar with what they're doing. So
I think if I remember correctly, is Asim in the call? So I think if
yes.
they want to make these kind of DPU IPUs as a small a router or a switch kind of a thing running in some either enterprise or service providers data centers kind of thing, how it would be if they, because they also have this tiny OS that can run on these DPUs and IPUs.
Yes, they have the distribution, but I have not actually discussed in detail with them that how they are actually looking to make
Ah,
that part of this DPU ecosystem.
okay. So Asim, then I would need your help in trying to bring them to this event workshop and try to see if they can share and explain us their use case and everything.
It's all right. I'll get in touch with them.
Okay. Or maybe they can come to the TSC also, we can discuss, and if they want to do it in our lab, the idea is to improve the lab utilization kind of a thing, right? So if they see that it's possible to do, it's possible to do in the lab, we can see if we can pick one of those DPUs or APUs and do it.
Yes, actually, I have that thought already in mind, but you see that currently, if we are going like for this in step 4, like we are creating the team to bring these IPU DPU operators, the DPF Red Hat OPI to the lab. So
Mhm.
will this require or will this be based on like OpenShift? Because then we'll have to like ask them as well that if that will actually, you see, that will increase the scope of this deployments that we are discussing, that we have the operator, but is it like closely tied to OpenShift, or like vanilla Kubernetes, it can run with that as well? So maybe we'll have to check with them that if they can support OpenShift or not with the distribution.
When you say they, sorry, I missed that point. Who?
The VYOS team,
Ah, okay.
yeah.
No, I was looking, yeah, if they're interested in this use cases, of course, we are happy to join them. But I think they would be more inclined on this scenarios, if I remember. I don't know. Maybe
I'll
I'm
check
wrong.
with them. I'll check with them.
Okay. And the we I think our other member, they said they were considering to provide the DPU IPU I think the DPU Mango Boost to our lab. Is the plan still on?
They said they would be ready end of quarter 1, so I'll check with them that if they are on track for that. I'm actually yet to sync with these general members for the next board meeting.
Okay. Any other points or topics, or if you on the OPI lab, or if you want to any other topic you want to add for today?
For this telco UPF offload use case, I was actually just curious that it's good that we are engaging with other standard like bodies, but like I think we should need to like first define the scope what we are actually going to achieve with this. We will be doing like full 5G demonstration lab setup, because I was of the point that we can go for like a bare minimum maybe a VoIP setup only. We don't need to do the end-to-end with RAN, or will it be required to do with the RAN or some sort of like RAN simulator as well?
Yeah. So that's the current discussion is on using the GNB simulator, the RAN simulator, and SD core.
All right. So we are engaging actually them for getting this setup up and running in OPI lab. They will help us to set
Yes,
up
so
all
they
the
will help us.
software.
They will help us from their side. We will engage from the DPU IPU side.
All right. All right.
So I was just kind of preparing to discuss on a SOW part with them sometime a few days back. Uh, so I was just talking to them and see if this is our from DP from OPI side, if we want to target this thing. Our goal is to use all the DPUs, cloud platform, Kubernetes operators, both of these operators. Infrastructure should be OPI lab. So these are from the OPI point of view. This is what we want from OPI side. And I'm expecting similar thing from their side and see if we can join hands. So if it's meaningful, then I will try to bring in back to TSC again.
Yes. All right.
Okay. Any other comments? Any other topics?
Might be covered in something already, but I know we talked about the ease of provisioning at the edge as being something. So I don't know if it's already covered by one of these others that we've already kind of lined up as far as showcasing the provisioning.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah, I would actually make it a separate thing than number 4. Because I think the effort that Paul's trying to lead up there is all about getting on top of workloads with Kubernetes on already provisioned DPUs. So I think demonstrating the provisioning piece is a separate thing.
correct. Let me move it.
Yeah, it could be separate. I do have both in. Both of them have been part of the effort. How to provision these cards in such a way that you can add them to a cluster and then have the cluster operators configure the cards. So we've got a redfish piece of the story that we've done as well.
So to me, that's bringing together 4 and 5 into 6.1, which is an end-to-end enterprise use case.
Yeah.
Working on it.
So, Paul, in this context, I just remembered, are we still pursuing that to get the code for a secure CTP from Juniper or Cisco? Juniper, is it?
Oh, the SZTP code.
Yeah.
We haven't done anything with that since we last talked to them. So,
Okay.
so I mean, yeah, you're right. Currently, for those who may have forgotten, the license on the SZTP code that we use in OPI right now is a not for production license, is my understanding. And I believe it's Cisco and Juniper each have their own variant of SZTP that they could open source, and we've asked, but haven't gotten any farther with that. I don't think there's an open production use SZTP license out there right now.
Okay.
And Paul, I would just like to request one thing, that we are like building these use cases in the lab. So I would request that in all our previous efforts, what we lacked was the documentation part, that we did not have enough documentation. So I would request that to keep that one of the targets, that we should have these like documented, so that we can maybe put them on some of our like blog or somewhere, that we can
Yes, I
point to
agree.
this.
I do. Yes, I agree. My only difficulty there is that the the documentation will be a novel at this point. You know, how many steps and how many caveats there are for each of these things. It's a lot of documentation. So, but you're right. That is a must-have for a full solution, for it to be a solution.
Yes, it will also help us like keep track of what were the differences, or where we can actually work or target more to bring out the common part from the different steps we do for different TPUs. And one more thing, that if you like, you need help, maybe Sirdar can tell that we have that still student budget. I think maybe you can hire someone to do this documentation part for you, to just document and verify the steps, that if the document covers all the steps.
I would love
Yeah.
that.
No, budget is there. Finding the people, I'm struggling over months. Uh, Finding people, I have requested all members, if they engage with any of these technical writers in their company, please let me know. We do have budget. We want to complete this documentation by using this budget. So if any members have engaged with any technical writers in their organization, if they can work for us, that would be great.
Okay, I'll check. And these can be students as well, right?
No, students, we have a lot of challenges with respect to from other projects also, right? We have faced like huge challenges with respect to creating these kind of documentations. Because if they're familiar with the domain, it makes it easier. But if they're not familiar with the domain, it will be, some projects have had to redo quite a few things after.
All right.
So if it's okay, even if there are some professionals, but who are already working with our member companies, it makes it a lot easier. And even though it might be slightly expensive, but the work will be done very well. So please,
Okay.
again, all the
Great.
members, if you have engaged any technical writers in your organization, please suggest them to us. Okay. Anything else? Going once, going twice, gone. Thank you so much. So I'll see you all next week then.
Yep,
Oh,
thanks.
Thank you,
Thanks for
everyone.
everything today, Sridhar.
yeah. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.